Relationship is action. Action has meaning only in relationship. Without understanding a relationship, action on any level will only breed conflict. The understanding of relationship is infinitely more important than the search for any plan of action. Ideology, the pattern for action, prevents action. Action based on ideology hinders the understanding of relationship between man and man. Ideology may be of the right or of the left, religious or secular, but it is invariably the construction of relationship. The understanding of relationship is true action. Without understanding relationship, strife and antagonism, war and confusion are inevitable.
The part of me that can't let go. And I would give anything I own. Give up my life, my heart, my home. And I would give everything I own.
Relationship means contact, communion. There cannot be communion where people are divided by ideas. A belief may gather a group of people around itself. Such a group will inevitably breed opposition and so form another group with a different belief. Ideals postpone direct relationship with the problem. When there is direct relationship with the problem, there is action. But unfortunately, all of us approach the problem with conclusions, explanations, which we call ideals. They are the means for postponing action. Idea is thought verbalized. Without the word, the symbol, the image, thought is not. Thought is the response of memory, experience, which are the conditioning influences. These influences are not only of the past, but of the past in conjunction with the present. So the past is always shadowing the present. Idea is the response of the past to the present, and so idea is always limited, however extensive it may be. Idea must always separate people. The world is always close to catastrophe. We want peace only as an idea, but not as an actuality. We want peace on the verbal level, which is only on the thinking level, though we proudly call it the intellectual level. But the word peace is not peace. Peace can only be when the confusion which you and another make cease. We are attached to the world of ideas and not to peace. We search for new social and political patterns and not for peace. We are concerned with the reconciliation of effects and not in putting aside the cause of war. This search will bring only answers conditioned by the past. This conditioning is what we call knowledge, experience, and the new changing facts are translated, interpreted according to this knowledge. So there is conflict between what is and the experience that has been. The past, which is knowledge, must ever be in conflict with the fact, which is ever in the present. So this will not solve the problem, but will perpetuate the conditions which have created the problem. We come to the problem with ideas about it, with conclusions and answers according to our prejudices. We interpose between ourselves and the problem the screen of ideology. Naturally, the answer to the problem is according to the ideology, which only creates another problem without resolving that with which we began. Relationship is our problem and not the idea about relationship. This is the only problem we have. To understand the relationship, we must come to it with freedom from all ideology, from all prejudice, not merely from the prejudice of the uneducated, but also from the prejudice of knowledge. There is no such thing as understanding of the problem from past experience. Each problem is new. There is no such thing as an old problem. When we approach a problem which is always new, with an idea which is invariably the outcome of the past, our response is also of the past, which prevents understanding the problem. The search for an answer to the problem only intensifies it. The answer is not away from it, but only in the problem itself. We must see the problem afresh and not through the screen of the past. The inadequacy of response to challenge creates the problem. This inadequacy has to be understood and not the challenge. When the response is adequate to the challenge, then only there is no conflict. This has to be seen in our daily life. Relationship is the challenge of everyday life. If you and I and another do not know how to meet each other, we are creating conditions that breed war. So the world problem is your problem. You are not different from the world. What you are, the world is. You can save the world, which is yourself, only in understanding the relationship of your daily life. The hope is not in the expert, in the ideology, or in the new leader, but it lies in you. You might ask how you, living an ordinary life in a limited circle, could affect the present world crisis. I do not think you will be able to. The present struggle is the outcome of the past which you and another have created. Until you and another radically alter the present relationship, you will only contribute to further misery. Your relationship with another, when extended, brings about world conflict and antagonism. Without the transformation of the individual, which is you, there can be no radical revolution in the world. The revolution in social order without the individual transformation will only lead to further conflict and disaster. Society is the relationship of you and me and another. Without radical revolution in this relationship, all effort to bring peace is only a reformation, which is retrogression. Relationship based on mutual need brings only conflict. However interdependent we are on each other, we are using each other for a purpose, an end. With an end in view, relationship is not. You may use me and I may use you. In this usage, we lose contact. Society based on mutual usage is the foundation of violence. When we use another, we have only the picture of the end to be gained. The end, the gain, prevents relationship, communion. In the usage of another, however gratifying and comforting it may be, there is always fear. To avoid this fear, we must possess. From this possession there arises envy, suspicion, and constant conflict. Such a relationship can never bring about happiness. A society whose structure is based on mere needs, whether physiological or psychological, must breed conflict and confusion. Society is the projection of yourself in relation with another. When you use another for your needs, in actuality there is no relationship at all. You really have no contact with the other, no communion. How can you have communion with the other when the other is used for your convenience and comfort? So it is essential to understand the significance of relationship in daily life. The ambitious, the crafty, the believer can have no relationship with another. He can only use another, which makes for confusion and enmity. This confusion and enmity exist in our present social structure. They will exist also in any reformed society, as long as there is no fundamental revolution in our attitude towards another human being. As long as we use another as a means towards an end, however noble, there will be inevitably violence and disorder. In the process of understanding yourself, not in isolation but in relationship, you will find that there is a deep, lasting transformation in which the usage of another as a means for your own psychological gratification has come to an end. What is important is not how you act, what pattern to follow, or which ideology is best, but the understanding of your relationship with another. This understanding is the only revolution, and not the revolution based on idea. As the inner always overcomes the outer, without understanding the total psychological process, which is yourself, there is no basis for thinking at all. Any thought which produces a pattern of action will only lead to further ignorance and confusion. There is only a fundamental revolution. This revolution is not of ideas. It is not based on any pattern of action. This revolution comes into being when the need for using another ceases. This transformation is not an abstraction, a thing to be wished for, but an actuality which can be experienced as we begin to understand the way of our relationship. The fundamental revolution may be called love. It is the only creative factor in bringing about transformation in ourselves and so in society.